So there we were, about to meet our maker and be ground into pulpy discharge by a 10-story armored yeast infection on tank treads. Jungle was out of fuckdolls a catapult, our Marine was knocked out and covered in gash goop, and our EOD guy had built a makeshift nuke that nobody wanted to deploy, and it had a good chance of vaporizing us all if someone did. It was a dark moment for the team, and right then, things got even darker. Literally. Our entire team was engulfed in a huge looming shadow from something falling overhead. A humongous object, hurtling down upon us from the heavens like a butt plug shot from the sphincter of Zeus himself. And then, right before it squashed us all like so many ants, a parachute deployed from the top and retro rockets fired underneath, and it landed safely and gently about 300 meters northeast of our position. It turned out to be some kind of weird shipping container like the kinds you see in ports or on the deck of merchant ships. Several tense moments passed, and then one of the doors blew off the side, and then shit got really weird. Out of the dust and darkness within burst Stanley the Honey Badger, hauling ass on a custom combat motorcycle with twin Gatling gun sidecars. And behind him shot out a flying squirrel wearing a jetpack firing a saw machine gun. And behind the squirrel flew out a porcupine wielding a 50 caliber sniper rifle and piloting an attack gyrocopter. And behind the porcupine came an armadillo with a bazooka on his shoulder driving a mini tank. And behind the armadillo came a wombat wearing no fewer than 24 knives, swords, and ninja weapons riding an armor-plated ATV. And behind the wombat was an aardvark firing a submachine gun in each hand and steering a tricked-out stealth dune buggy with his snout. Our backup had arrived, and it was Stanley the Honey Badger and the Furrious 5. And yes, Furrious was spelled with 2 R's like the word furry, which doesn't make complete sense because one of them was an armadillo, and armadillos don't even have fur. But whatever. We were happy to see them and could use as much extra firepower as we could get. And those little bastards immediately began laying down a stream of hatred and ultra-violence like you've never seen. Stanley and the 5 definitely helped turn the tide of the battle towards our favor, but we still had to figure out what to do about that giant robot cum dumpster raining fire and metal and bullshit down on us. Stanley rode up next to me and EOD, took one look at the mini nuke, and you knew exactly what he was gonna do. Without hesitation, he hoisted it onto his little badger back and gunned his bike right towards the humongous lumbering murder vag. He hit a button on his handlebars that initiated a jet turbine on the back of his bike and launched him into the air off a berm in a badass Knight Rider-esque turbo boost maneuver. He timed it perfectly and flew right into the heart of that iron monostat guzzling piece of shit between its snapping and flapping lips. He must have set off EOD's mini nuke somewhere inside because what happened next was like something I had never seen before. There was a blinding flash of light followed by a shockwave that sent out a visible rumbling tsunami of dust that went all the way to outer Mongolia and beyond. A split second later, a spinning vortex appeared that pulled all the light and dust back into the center of it and then disappeared into a speck smaller than a pinprick. And then there was nothing at all, just silence. And the team and I looked around, and all of the robot spiders we'd been fighting had been sucked into the wormhole, or whatever the hell that thing had created, and they were gone. And so was the giant robot vagina thingy, and so was Stanley. Talk about fucked up shit. We hoofed it back to our staging base and tried to figure out our next move. I wasn't leaving Afghanistan until I had answers or my best friend back. Stanley had just saved all of our lives, and we were more than happy to put them right back on the line to save his. Problem solved, problem staying solved. Rangers lead the way.